Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to this explainer on what's shaping up to be a truly monumental event, the 2026 World Cup. We're going to break down the unprecedented numbers, the legendary stars, the incredible host cities, and the global culture that's absolutely going to define this historic tournament. To really grasp why this specific tournament is so special, we've got to start with its unprecedented scale. For the very first time in history, the World Cup is expanding to a massive 48 teams. So yeah, that means more nations and more awesome underdog stories. But it also completely reshapes the physical and tactical endurance required to win the whole thing. The margin for error drops drastically when the knockout gauntlet gets this extended.
And of course, with more teams comes a staggering volume of action. We're talking 104 games played in total. To put that into perspective for you, the tournament kicks off with 72 group stage matches alone, and that's before we even touch the knockout rounds. Managing squad rotation and player fatigue, that's going to be absolutely crucial. This isn't just a tournament, it's a true marathon of elite soccer.
But hey, it's not just the sheer number of teams making history here. It's the geography. For the first time ever, the world's biggest sporting stage is being shared by three hosts: the United States, Mexico, and Canada. This tri-nation setup brings the tournament to a wildly diverse array of climates, time zones, and soccer cultures. It's an unprecedented logistical puzzle for the managers, for sure, but it's going to be an epic travel experience for the fans.
Section 1. The stage. Iconic host city landmarks. We aren't just talking about standard soccer pitches today. We're looking at some of the most culturally significant backdrops in the Americas framing these matches.
Transport yourself to Mexico City for a moment. Just a short drive from the legendary Estadio Azteca, you've got the ancient majesty of the pyramids of the sun and moon. Built way back around the year 200 AD, these structures stand out as this breathtaking reminder of Mexico's rich heritage, right in the middle of the modern frenzy of the tournament. I mean, just imagine the atmosphere of millions of fans walking grounds that have literally stood for millennia.
Now let's move over to Toronto and see how this builds a brilliant contrast. Up there, the landscape is defined by modern architectural marvels like the soaring CN Tower. Rising 1,800 feet above the streets, it offers these panoramic views of a city that's going to be absolutely buzzing with international fans. It perfectly highlights the incredible juxtaposition we're going to see between ancient history and modern skylines across our host nations.
Okay, let's shift our focus from the macro scale of these massive host cities down to the micro stories. Section 2, the stars. Legends on the pitch.
You simply can't talk about this World Cup without looking at the absolute titans of the sport. On one side, you have Argentina's Lionel Messi. He's the defending champion, chasing what could be a picture-perfect storybook swan song trophy right on American soil. And on the other, Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo, a relentless record breaker aiming to extend his staggering distinction as the very first player to score in 5 different World Cups. The stakes for their ultimate legacies have literally never been higher.
And this brilliantly illustrates the clash of eras we're witnessing right now. You've got the electric, youthful dominance of France's Kylian Mbappe on one hand, who's looking to cement a multi-tournament dynasty. Contrasting him is Christian Pulisic, the hometown hero carrying the immense weight and expectation of leading the U.S. men's national team on their own turf. It's established global royalty going head-to-head with the host nation's absolute biggest hope.
With these legends and rising stars set, we have to look at where they will violently collide. Section 3. The stakes. Group stage battles. This is where the tactical chess match begins and the tension truly ramps up. Let's look at a scenario like Group D. Christian Pulisic's U.S. squad is seeking to absolutely dominate at home, sitting at the top with 3 points and a +3 goal difference. But they're fending off a notoriously tough Australian squad that is right on their heels. You know, in groups this tight, every single goal matters immensely. A single defensive error could literally mean the difference between advancing deep or crashing out right in front of your home crowd.
Then you break down a group like Group J. Messi's Argentina is looking really strong on 3 points, but to advance, they still have to navigate past a high-scoring Austria, and you absolutely cannot discount the rest of the field. They're facing teams like Algeria, famously known as the Giant Killers ever since their shocking defeat of West Germany way back in 1982. The reality is, in this expanded format, there are simply no easy paths to the knockout stage.
But it's not all about the heavyweights, right? The expansion to 48 teams opens the door for the ultimate underdog stories with our historic debutants. We're talking about nations like Cabo Verde becoming the second smallest nation by population to ever qualify. Incredible. They're joined by other potential first-timers like Curaçao and Uzbekistan. For these nations, just stepping onto the pitch changes their sporting history forever. It brings a completely new, totally unpredictable dynamic to the group stages.
So the crucial point is, the stakes on the pitch are amplified intensely by the roaring passion in the stands. Section 4, the spirit, anthems and global glory. This is what elevates the sport from just a game to a worldwide cultural phenomenon.
You can literally feel the electric atmosphere in the stadiums. Just think about the passion and the chants. The Americans fans rally their squad with roars of "Stars and Stripes, charge tonight, feel the fire, feel the light." It acts as this intense, unifying battle cry echoing through the arenas, essentially acting as a 12th man out there on the pitch.
And up north, the Canadian fans bring their own fierce energy. You'll hear passionate crowds belting out the unbreakable chant for their hometown heroes. Canada unbreakable, we're ready for the crown, we will never back down. That kind of massive vocal wall completely changes the environment the players step into. It demands resilience, and man, it really fuels that underdog momentum.
Now, what's really interesting is how ancient history meets modern sport on this global stage. Even before the whistle blows, we hear national anthems with deep historical resonance, like Japan's Kimi Gayo. It's actually one of the world's oldest national anthems, featuring lyrics derived directly from a Heian period poem written well over 1,000 years ago. Hearing something like that echoing through a modern megastadium, it brings an incredible weight and dignity to the entire tournament.
But despite all the unique stories, the passionate chants, and the extremely diverse host cities, there is still one ultimate prize, and one gold standard: 5. Brazil holds the all-time record with 5 World Cup titles. They are the absolute historical benchmark that every single nation is measuring themselves against right now. It is the peak of the mountain.
Which leaves us with one final, thrilling question. With 48 teams, legendary veterans, hungry debutantes, and an entire continent playing host, who will lift the ultimate trophy and forge a new legend? Think about everything we've covered, weigh the groups, and make your pick. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, enjoy the beautiful game.